Guys, welcome. My name is Sahil. You already know me, and today's video, guys, is focusing on international students. So we have a very special guest on board with us today, and this special person is an existing international student in Canada. His journey is right now ongoing. In fact, the person has seen a couple of refusals as well, with his previous applications when he did it by himself. Fortunately, we got in touch when I was in India for this trip that recently I was in India in 2021, and I met him, in the beginning of this year, and since then, had a good tuning. He's a very nice person, the person has been doing well in his life. He's professionally oriented. So, the personal motive behind this video that I had was that I get a lot of questions from matured students, people in their 30s, 35. Although this person is just about 30, but I get a lot of people from good professional background at Sahil. We are coming to Canada. We have a successful career back home, and what do you think study permit is for us or not, or what exactly is there for us in Canada? Should we come to study in Canada? How will a job look like? What will happen to our families? What is the course like? How will it add value to my life? And will it add value to my credentials and stuff like that, right? And since Maninder has been doing really well in his journey, he has made some really smart moves here. I personally think that it is a learning that everybody can take away, and a lot of people might get benefit from this in their journey when they come to Canada. So that's the whole perspective and the reason behind making this video. And I really wish and I really hope that a lot of people out there get a lot of intakes from him. He will be giving us a couple of links for resumes building, and a couple of tips for finding a job, accommodation, the issues that he faced, how life is in Canada, stuff like that. So I'll just let it be there on the other end. We'll just get started. And before we get started, just a quick note: if you are watching this video for the first time, please make sure that you hit the bell icon, the subscribe button, the like button, share it with your friends, because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you think somebody can benefit from this content, I think you should definitely share and spread the knowledge that is there for everybody. Wish you all the best and see you on the other side. Hi guys, welcome. My name is Sahil. As you already know me, we've been on YouTube for quite a long time. But today's video is extremely special because I have an international student with me right here. Maninder Singh is my friend. Maninder, can you just quickly say hi?
Hello, everyone.
So, guys, Maninder is a friend and a client. So he became a client first, and then he is now a friend. So we've met a couple of times here in Canada. We met in India as well. So Maninder has had an interesting journey as an international student in Canada. I'll just give a quick, brief. He is a matured student, like, I mean, not directly out of college in India, had a short career gap, an education gap back in India, but then he applied for a study permit back in India, came to Canada in the middle of COVID when COVID was at its peak. So that's why he's been through the journey, especially during COVID. He's actually seen all that happens in Canada as a student, all the struggles and everything. So that's why I requested him, if he could just come on board and explain what it's like in Canada, what does he feel and everything, to share a couple of experiences with you. So welcome, Maninder. Guys, Maninder is a dear friend, and I'll let him take the stage. And Maninder, thoda sa just introduce yourself, share us who you are, what is your background, and let people know what exactly, when did you come to Canada, and what was your program like.
Sure. So, hello, everyone. I'm Maninder Singh, and I completed my bachelor's in Delhi University. And then, after working a couple of years back home in India, I decided to move to Canada. And for me, I chose study route. For that, I was looking for some consultants, and I found Sahil through YouTube. And then I got in touch with him. Ultimately, in India, we usually don't follow a pattern of booking a consultation, and then I thought that he's the one I want to go ahead with, like, after having a word with him in a meeting. And then in 2020, I applied for my study permit. I finally landed here in Canada in March 2021, and I was studying design management in George Brown College, Waterfront campus. Now, the journey, due to COVID, most of the course I attended online, and when I landed here, like I just attended like 1 or 1.5 months of my program, and it got completed. Then,
When did you come here? So which intake was that, and when did you land here?
yeah, so my intake was September 2020 intake, and I attended most of my classes, like all of the classes in virtual space, and I landed here in March.
March.
Then I completed my quarantine, and in April my course got completed.
So you only got to study basically inside Canada. You never went to the college, right?
No.
But have you seen the college? Is it beautiful? Have you seen the
Yeah,
campus?
I've seen the campus only once.
Okay. And like a lot of students say that campuses here are very small, very congested. Is that the true picture, or what exactly is your take on that?
So it depends on from college to college, and like I mean which province you are going to study, how is the reputation of your college. So I suggest to most of the students that try to go through the official college websites along with consultants, so that you have the idea that which course you are going for, what is the review, what are the reviews. Even I did one other thing that I did before choosing George Brown College was I texted alumni of George Brown College on LinkedIn to get a review about that particular course which I'm going to study. So they gave me a first hand review of my program.
Oh, that's good. And what about accommodation? Like, where are you living? Is this a house, a basement, or a room? And how did you get it? So, just a bit about because a lot of people are really worried, and especially parents, like they think that okay, how is my child going to find an accommodation? And I believe you also asked me this question back
Yeah.
home that is this accommodation good, or so just so first part of it, while you're in India, how to search for an accommodation as a student, and then once you're here, what exactly should you do to find the right place, and where are you living and stuff like that.
Mhm. So if you are in India and you have some relatives or friends here already, I suggest to the potential students that try to ask them to visit the potential like space where you want to move, to visit it like physically, so it helps a lot. Otherwise, when you are in touch with your landlord or potential like landlord, then try to get a virtual tour of the space, so that
So
you
they
can.
give you on the phone.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
through
good.
some landlords allow that, and it is better to see the space in a video as compared to the photographs captured and posted on Kijiji and other platforms. So I suggest that, and usually when students come, they have in hand like GIC of around $10,000. So if you are coming as a student, then try to go as cheap as you can, because you have to
Don't spend
save
the
money.
entire GIC.
Yeah. So similarly, like most of the students live in basement and in shared space, and that is totally fine. Like because most of the people, I always say this to my friends, that most of the people who are in India, they think that once you are boarding the flight for Canada, then it is the like end of the journey, and as in your goal was to move to Canada, and now you are going to Canada. Now here's the second part of the journey, like that starts. So always keep in mind that after landing here, there will be a period of around 1 year or 2 year, depending upon the different circumstances, that for that you will be settling here. Obviously it's a new country, you have to manage your own finances. Back home in India we have families, so different scenarios. So landing here is not just the idea. Yeah.
That's true. Which brings me to my next question. Landing here is good. Houses can be expensive, and everything can be there. What about jobs? And I believe you had a part-time job. You found a job very recently. In fact, in a very short time when you landed, and you landed a very good job. And you've had a couple of volunteering positions as well, right? So just explain and think of it from a perspective that some of them might be 18 years old and some of them might be 35, 30, 40 also, right? So what do you suggest that as a student, what is the scenario of part-time jobs, and a bit about volunteers and stuff like that? So how do you create that network and that sort of a space where you're talking to a lot of people and get jobs. So thoda sa usme, yeah.
Okay. So basically, one of the thing that I realized after landing here while searching the job is that most of the employers are looking for the people who have the Canadian experience. Although there are a few employers, if you are exceptional, then you may get a job with your Indian experience as well, depending upon the field. And so depending upon your circumstances, in which field you are and what type of experience you had in India in your working space. So most of the employers, although here in Canada, prefer to hire an employee who has like Canadian experience. And to build your profile, like as I said, when you are landing here, your next chapter starts. Try to get connected with people on LinkedIn. Try to attend some volunteer positions. So for me, I have joined a couple of organizations and associations in which I'm the part of that as a member, and that helps a lot. So I'm basically into design space. So there's an organization in Canada called RGD, which is Registered Graphic Designers. So I'm part of that. So the whole process took a lot of time. So get connected with those things which employers are recognizing, right? And you are building so more of your profile on LinkedIn, and maybe your personal website is showcasing your interest and your journey in Canada. It is always better to get a job. Then on the other side of it, if you are not into the professional space, or consulting, or jobs where you are mostly active on LinkedIn, then go ahead with referrals as well. Your existing friends and referrals helps a lot. Yeah.
Okay. And what about finding an actual job? Is that easy? How do you find a job? How much does it pay? I'm not talking about how much do you get paid. Randomly, how much do students get paid? Is it like the minimum wage or whatever? How to find a job? Say nobody has LinkedIn or that kind of a professional setup that okay, I'm into these associations. So how easy or tough is it to get a normal part-time job? And what is the kind of a pay and how are the employers like?
So when you're working as a student, then finding a minimum wage job is not that difficult, because you are going for a minimum wage option. And if you want to get your market value, then obviously you have to work for it. And yeah.
Okay. So, and is it easy to find a job? At least a part-time job?
Depends on the geographical area, like in which particular industry or what type of job. If you want to work as a security guard, or you want to drive an Uber, or you want to go for food deliveries, or to work in a grocery store or Walmart. So getting those jobs is somewhat easier as compared to other jobs which are more
Skilled.
skill based.
So you're in a skilled job, right? So
Yeah.
you are working in an office like 9 to 5 or whatever timing is. Now that you're on a work permit, you're now working full time. Earlier you were working part time when you were a student. So you're in a proper office doing a proper job. So was it easy for you to find that job? And did you use any referral or no?
No, in my case, one of my referral worked as well. And when I applied through online portals for the job, again I faced the same issue, that most of the Canadian employers are looking for the Canadian experience. And sometimes when you land here, you submit your Indian resume here in Canada. That I can recommend to the potential students as well, that modify your resume as per Canadian standards, and after reading the job description, match your resume, tweak it, and then customize it as per the job description for that particular role. Usually what mistake students do is that they submit a single resume for every job, so that I don't recommend. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's good. I think that's a good advice, guys. I have made a couple of videos on that as well. Resume has to be tweaked a lot, and it has to be tweaked for every job
Right.
because Canada uses ATS. It's called Application Tracking
Yeah.
System. So they will only shortlist a resume if it has the right keywords.
Exactly.
And then the creative style of resume is really important. So you need to make something in that line. It's really important. So
Right.
do that, and we have other videos also which you can recommend, which you can see. So which brings me to my second last question. Um, the any issues, any major issues that you faced in Canada, any issue around your immigration, anything that you had, and how did you overcome that, or how stressful was it for you, as an individual?
Yeah. So for me, it is quite surprising that my work permit got rejected. So
Your
after,
PGWP, right?
yes, I applied for post graduation work permit after just after completing my graduation here in Canada, and they rejected my PGWP after 3 months, and then that period, like around 1.5 months that I spent, was quite stressful. And then what happens is when you get rejected, you apply for your GCMS notes, through which you can see your complete file, that what was the reason through which officer rejected your file. So and in before applying the GCMS notes, the first person I would say that comes to my mind was Sahil, because I was in touch with Sahil from India itself, and whenever I'm in trouble in my application process, I may be surrounded with other friends and professionals sometimes, but if I have to seek an advice from some genuine person, so I always go to Sahil, go for you. And when I was in this scenario, and the next thing that I did was call up Sahil, and ultimately we applied for GCMS notes, and
The
uh,
issue got resolved, right? That's great, Maninder. Thanks for sharing that. So, Maninder, my next question to you is, how is Canada treating you? Matlab, you know, we all know that student life can be full of struggles, and student life can be a little tough at times with respect to part-time jobs and everything. But for you, as a personal recommendation, because everybody has a different experience, like for you, what do you think has Canada given you? Is it like full of struggles, full of tough hardships, or do you think value is there in it? So what is your take on that?
so from my perspective, I think it depends, like, person to person. I mean, what type of a person you are. So for me, most of my studies got completed back home in India, and then after landing here, I searched for a job. I got a job through a referral, so I started working on it. So for me, it was quite smooth if we ignore the PGWP refusal. But for some students, it is not that easy, especially when you are studying here. So for me, Canada is treating me well now, because I have the work permit now. uh, One thing I can say to potential students and whosoever wants to come to Canada is that when you land here, there will be a journey of 1 or 2 years, and that hardship pays off. Ultimately, the efforts, the struggle, I would say, that you are doing here, the things that you are facing, ultimately you will get a return on it. And you have to perform, you have to choose your decisions pretty strategically, so that you can reach to your ultimate goal. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thanks for sharing your experience, Maninder. And yes, guys, you know, student journey can be filled with a lot of different experiences. That's what I have thought and I have come across, because I come across all variants of students, right? Somebody who's just an 18-year-old does not have much knowledge like you have, right? You've been professionally set up in India also, so you had a more professional take on things, like resumes, approaching clients, approaching employers and everything, whereas an
Right.
18-year-old or maybe somebody who has not been in the professional eco space per
Right.
se might take a different approach. So
Perfect.
but I think the best takeaway from this video and this experience is that if you make the right decisions with respect to maybe coming to Canada, immigration, choosing the right city, making the right applications, jobs, resumes, finding the right house, everything, if you do it strategically, if you tag on your professional experience to it, I think you will end up with a good experience.
Right.
And if you just make hasty decisions, if you don't get focused on your life and you just go on working at grocery stores all the time and you take the easy way out, then the experience
Yeah,
will not be great, right?
definitely.
So the key takeaway is make a smart move, have the right people surround you all the time, have the right network, get the right advice, and speak to the right people and refer to the right audience as well, and make the right choice of content that you view, and that will help you get the right decisions in life.
Right.
All right. So, guys, great. Thanks a lot, Maninder, for joining us. And, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope this video really helped you a lot, gave you much info on what is a student life like in Canada and how can you actually come to Canada. I really wish you all the best, and I really hope all of you come to Canada really, really soon. All the best.
Thank you.